Hi everyone and welcome to episode 20 of the ITSM crowd. Today we've got a real service desk focus. We're joined by David from the I Institute, who's going to tell us a little bit about the work that they do, and Damian Bowen from NTT Data, who's going to talk to us about their journey towards service desk certification. If you've got any questions during the Hangout, we will be watching the Twitter feed, so you can use the hashtag ITSM crowd, post your questions, and we will address them during the half hour that we've got. So we're going to start with some introductions just to let you know who our guests are today. So Damian first, if you'd like to tell us who you are and a little bit about yourself, please.
Hi, good morning everybody. My name is Damian Bowen. I run the Service Centre in the UK for NTT Data. Quite a heavy focus on service desk and service management and IT as a managed service provider, and worked with the SDI for about four or 5 years now.
Thank you very much. And David?
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is David Wright. I joined SDI in 2014 from industry, and I've got sort of 20 years worth of experience of IT support, BPO, ITO. So absolutely understand Damian's sort of MSP stuff. In my last role, I managed the UK service desk operations for a major global managed outsource provider, which consisted of some 300 staff serving 180 global customer organizations. And to give you a scale of that, we had around about 2.1 million contacts every year. So quite a large service. Before joining SCI, I was a customer, so I've been a customer since 2010, and a customer of the STC program, the certification program as well, which we'll be discussing today. And I'm very proud to have been involved in achieving the first world-class 5-star certification, which was done by a brilliant team with some incredible people back in South Wales. So I'm lucky enough to have experienced service desk certification as a customer and as an auditor.
Fantastic, thank you very much. And my name's Claire Agutter. I'm the lead tutor at ITSM Zone, and I'm going to be hosting today's session. So we have quite a global audience on these Hangouts. So David, I wonder if you could start by telling us a little bit more about SDI, who they are, what sort of work they do, and how people can get involved with SDI.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, SDI is a fantastic organisation, and as I said, I was a customer before I joined. So it's a great organisation, a very supportive organisation, and the leading professional body for everyone working in IT service and the support industry. We set the internationally recognised best practice standards for service desk and for service desk professionals. We were founded in 1988, and we offer services like membership, certified training, research, events, conference, all types of media, consultancy services, resourcing services, and of course, service desk certification. So for us, it's all about the global community. We have customers and partners in Europe, in the Middle East, in Africa, South America, India, Asia, Pacific, so we're global. And our mission is simply to inspire service desks to be brilliant, encouraging organizations by helping them to raise the quality of their service, to create inspiring and engaging service experiences, to empower their teams to be better, and to demonstrate exceptional business value. So we're a community organization. It's all about the community and the support of making service desks brilliant.
Thank you. I have to say I've been to 2 of the Service Desk Institute conferences now, and the sense of community there is absolutely fantastic. They are really, really lovely, friendly events.
So yeah, I couldn't agree more, Claire. Our guys, and especially the team, they really look forward to them every year. I've had the pleasure of speaking at these events. I've also last year, which I was very proud to do, was I actually was able to give the award out to the team that took our title of UK Service Desk of the War. So to stand on stage and present an award and see the reaction, it was just fantastic. So it is a great event.
Yeah, they are absolutely brilliant. Now you've got organisations like ITSMF, which is the IT Service Management Forum. Why one specifically for service desks, David?
That's a really good question, isn't it? I think certainly we've mentioned that community thing, the aspect of community. And I think the service desk has that function, as that human piece that pulls together process, technology, people, all that stuff. It's the obvious thing. It's the obvious thing to do. So certainly when it was founded in 1988, the best practice that we have now, and you know, that service experience thing that we've created, or the industry's created all that time, didn't exist, and it was simply to support organisations to be better, and that's what we've done since then. You know, is there a definition between the two, a distinction between the two? I think we all do the same type of stuff. It's just aimed specifically a little bit closer to that people aspect for people working in IT support and service desk. But we do the same stuff. We do very similar stuff. You know, I think as a community, generally, as an ITSM community, if you like, and all the vendors and organisations that support the people out there in the field doing stuff, we all do very similar stuff, and we complement each other. But I'm lucky. I'm really lucky because service desk is a brilliant place to be. It's a brilliant place to be.
Yeah, and I have worked on service desks myself in the past, and they are some of the closest teams that I've worked on, because you do deal with some very challenging situations, and I think being part of a wider community where you can then share those experiences and maybe learn how to deal with things as well, that has real benefits.
I totally agree. Couldn't agree more, Claire, actually.
So we're here today to talk about service desk certification, particularly, and gaining a level of recognition for how service desks are performing. So can you maybe just talk us through the scheme that you run, David, and then we'll talk to Damian about his specific experiences.
Absolutely. So as I mentioned, I was a customer of this service, of this product, way back in 2010. So the service desk certification it's best practice standard. It's designed for service desks and IT support, and it offers a clear and measurable set of benchmarks for continuous service improvement. It complements ITIL and ISO 20000. It includes measures and areas that aren't actually in those. It's very 9,000. It's very, you know, it's got 27,000 in there as well, as long as complementing 14,000 as well. So it's quite broad. It's very comprehensive. It's very robust. And it's a measurable, as I mentioned, measure of service capability and service excellence. The standard is based on, I don't know if you know it, but it's very well known, the EQMF maturity model, and 9 concepts. And they include, I'll reel them off, leadership, policy, strategy, people and management, partnerships and resources, process and procedures, managing people's satisfaction, managing customer satisfaction, performance results, and social responsibility. So it encompasses the whole end-to-end service. So it's essentially a benchmark and continuous improvement program. It starts with a 2-day initial assessment with interviews. The report offers findings, observations, recommendations, and then there's some time, usually 9 months, to adopt and align to the standard and the recommendations. Then there's a certification audit after that, with group interviews, this time with evidence to back up all that really good stuff, and reporting evidence through metrics. And by that time, hopefully, we've gained certification. And then we're audits a year, so annually, 12 months after, there's a surveillance audit. So more opportunity to improve and achieve a higher rating by further aligning to the standard through that surveillance audit. So I mean, that's very quick, and I don't want to take too much time away from Damian this, right? Because Damian's an NTT, a very well respected and loved member of a customer. So I want Damian to talk about his experiences. But in a nutshell, that's it, right? It's a robust benchmarking and continuous improvement program. Loads more online, and I could talk for hours about it because, as I said, I'm a consumer as well. But yeah, that's essentially what it is.
Wonderful. And what's your website address, just for people who want to read a little bit more?
It's www.sti.com. Let me just actually, because that's a really good question, Claire. I'll come back to you to confirm that.
I was looking at your Twitter handle the other day, which is SDI Institute, and I thought, is that the Service Desk Institute?
So I will confirm that now. I'll confirm that. Thank you.
Okay, so Damian, over to you then. We're here to talk about your service desk journey, so talk us through it. Tell us a little bit about how it all went.
I think the same as David. I can talk all day about this, so Claire, you're probably going to have to say, or wave your hand to say enough. I think David used a great word during that, robust, and I think that's how we found it. When you sit on the other end of it, it is certainly robust. And one of the key things for us, I think if you listen to the piece that David mentioned, he talks about ISO 20000, 14001, ISO 27000, service desk, service management. And I think what we found, certainly going through the journey, is if you take those as individual international standards, they can potentially create silos in an organisation. So you've got your service management team for ISO 20000, your project management team for ISO 9000, you've got your security team for ISO 27001, and then you've got a service desk. So what we found, certainly going through the 9 things that David brought together, is across all of them, it brings them all together. So we found that the service desk actually then became almost like the centre of IT in our organisation. The service management team engaged with helping get the certification. Our security team did, our delivery guys did, and they all wanted to be actually part of it because they saw the benefit of everyone starting to work together, and especially in the concept of DevOps now with the development team and operations team working together. This certification actually helps bring that together, because you can't sort of gain it if you work in isolation. And I think that's one of the key things about Service Desk is we don't work in isolation, and they should never work in isolation. They should be supported by the organisation. But that's one of the key things that we found about how we brought things together. But I'm not going to be dishonest about this. It's hard work. The robustness of it is hard work. I mean, I actually speak for the SDI on certification, and I said to them when they asked me to do it, I said on the condition I can be brutally honest when we do it, and we were. And one of the things we found is when we done the self-assessment ourselves, we were obviously world class, because we ticked every box and we met every criteria, and yet we did everything. Then we had a bit of a shock. So David and Tessa, who's the MD of the SDI, came in to audit us, and we actually failed.
Wow.
Which was quite interesting in a pre-assessment. So we looked at the scores. I mean, we've done well in certain areas, but what's really good about the SDI certification is you need to pass every area, every section of all 9, and then it gives a combined score. So what it did then is it thought, actually, we need to readdress how we look at this. And then we put some work together, and what's also good about the SDI certification is they don't come in, give you a score and go away. They give you a full report where you can look at it and you can actually see how you can build and grow. And I think from any organisation that want to go through this, it gives you an improvement plan there and then. It just gives you your CSI plan there and then. What you choose to engage with, what you choose to implement is actually your choice. But it gives you, I mean, this is a very, very detailed report. I think, David, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, there's over 400 categories that you have to
there's a lot.
And provide evidence to.
Quite a lot. Yeah, I don't know that you've got me on that one as well. I'm on the back foot, you're right?
No, you're not. There is a significant amount, so it is hard work and it is an investment. And I think I was talking to David about this a few weeks ago. I think in the 26 years I've been in IT, I would certainly say that this is the perfect example about effort versus reward. You have to put a significant amount of effort to do it, to get it, but the reward at the end is fantastic. So going from that, we were world class, and then we had a bit of a reality check going down to failing the initial, the pre-assessment. We then went in and at first time got a 3-star certification, which we were really proud of, especially where we came from.
Is this a 1 to 5-star measure?
Yeah, it's 1 to 5. Yeah, 5 being world class, and that's an interesting point. That is, Claire, just sort of like going off at a tangent for a second, is because in 2013, when we set about the vision for NTT Data Service Desk, I mean, and I think everyone does, we had the vision of being world class. And we thought, well, how do you ever know whether you've achieved world class? And then we found the SDI certification, and which actually measures you as world class. And we thought that's what we need to do. So then we went and got our 3-star certification, which we were very proud of based on where we come. But NTT Data are a growing organisation in the UK and hungry and always want to improve, and that's my character as well, always looking at that small gradual steps to improve. And then we were re-audited in May of this year, and we then jumped up to a 4-star, and some of our scores we actually I think in 3 of the 9 sections achieved the maximum score you could get. So that journey in that year, and it shows that progression was fantastic. And now we're already planning next year's certification, where we're looking at going for that second 4-star certification, but then the ultimate 5-star to become world class. So it has been fantastic for us, you know, just an unbelievable journey, but a hard one.
So clearly there's going to be a cost to this, both in terms of covering things like your audit fees, but also internally there's going to be people costs in making these improvements. What was the business justification for doing this?
I think for us it was differentiation. We needed to find, as a growing SI, you know, when you've got some fantastic competitors out there, CGI that Davey come from, your Essentials of the world, Fujitsu, CSC, all of those. I think, how do NTT, who have got this huge name in Asia Pac, grow in the UK and EMEA region? And that was one of our main justifications. But because we always wanted to get better, we always wanted to achieve, and we always wanted to put something a little bit different in our sales proposals or our literature that said SDI certified, because a lot of people have got ISO 20000. A lot of people, in fact, as an SI, you have to have it, and you have to have ISO 27000, but you don't have to have SDI certification. So we actually use it now, and I was with a customer yesterday where we put up the SDI logo and the 4-star accreditation, and the other justification for us, and this was for NTT, was to work with the SDI to help build our brand. Because we wanted to get our guys out there, we wanted to get our guys at the events, we wanted them to network, and that's one of the key things about the SDI. It wasn't just the certification, it was actually the networking piece as well, and it has been fantastic for us. So we host visits for other SDI members, we host visits for people that are thinking of being SDI members, which is other service desks. So it's enabled us to build that brand in the UK. So to build the brand and to differentiate is where that was our main justification for the work.
And is that typical, David, for your other customers that go for certification?
You know, we cover, certification covers, as you know, SCI does, a vast range of different organisations and industries. Public sector, you know, commercial organisations, all types, health, higher education. So it's so broad. People go on this program, on this journey, for all types of reasons. My reasons are very, you know, when we procured the program, it was for very similar reasons. I'll go through some of those a little bit later. But we find a raft of stuff. So we'll find organisations who want to use it simply to benchmark, to improve, to align to best practice standards. Other organisations which will use it then, as Damian has mentioned, as a central marketing piece, verification of what they can achieve and what they can do. And there's a huge mix. You know, you can buy it for what you want. I mean, some organisations will maybe, maybe a really good place to start is why, right? And so I think certainly if you care about your customers as a service desk, as an organisation, if you care about your customers, your people, experience that you deliver as part of your service, and if you want to highlight your commitment to service excellence, your dedication to best practice, and understand where best practice or where to invest in service improvement opportunities, then this is a perfect vehicle for that. It's about being the best you can possibly be. It's about adopting and adapting to and aligning to industry best practice. It's driving improved customer perception, experience, along with staff experience, and as I mentioned, that verification vehicle to demonstrate the value of your service desk back in the organisation. So there's a raft of, there's no one answer. It's really depends on the organisation. And we find organisations that come into this and have a goal. You know, some organisations will want to be 5-star. Some organisations will want to be 2-star. And the stars, they combine with a level of capability. So from proactive, a 2-star proactive, through to customer-led, to business-led, to world-class. It really depends on the organisation and what they want to get out of the program end-to-end.
Thank you. So Damian, talk us through some of the benefits then of going through this process. One thing I'm particularly interested in is how did it actually affect morale on your service desk? I guess from the initial failing the assessment through to getting your 4-star award.
I mean, that's morale's a great question, Claire. For those people that are watching this and know me, I'm a very focused people person. So it was a lot of it was about the team, but I do think that there's a big link there. So we looked at the old methodology of people, process, technology, and for me, it had to benefit across all of those. So going back to your point about morale, one of the things that we found is it gave the team a sense of professionalism, something they were absolutely remarkably proud of. And in working in this services industry, when you've got an enthused, proud person in your service desk or in your service organisation, the benefits to the customer are just enormous, because they feel like they're on it and they're trying to improve and they're trying to move forward, they're trying to take the team forward. So it actually helped significantly boost the morale. And even going back to the bit when I mentioned where we failed the first audit, it wasn't like that and they were a bit down. It was, oh, okay, what do we need to do? And one of the reasons why we won Service Desk of the Year in 2015 was based on our continual service improvement, and some of that was about the SDI journey, and it's how it's ingrained into our culture. So one of the things I always say is I want to help my team and people that work in the services world grow their CV and grow how they make a difference in the world of services. And I think to be able to put part of NTT Data's journey from to a 4-star service desk, it's given them that sense of professionalism, that sense of pride at work, and they actually, you know, and this goes to show how much they feel about it, is when we're being audited, we actually have people asking to be audited.
Wow.
Because they feel, because it's not something that we do once a year, it's something that's ingrained into our culture, and then they want to show it off. And to watch some 20-year-old the younger generation of IT support people want to be audited and want to answer questions, it's just great. So it's really built the morale of the team phenomenally. Even now, we won the Services for the Year in 2015. Even now, they still watch the video that they put together for the award ceremony. So morale-wise, it was great. And the other key benefit to us is, I don't know what people out there in the world think about reporting. Is it a necessary evil? Is it just for managers who want their MI to check up what they're doing? But what we did with the reporting, because the one thing with the SDI certification, which is the hard bit, is you have to evidence every piece. So you have to prove it, not just say yes, we do that. And so what we decided to do was turn our data, our reporting, to help drive our business. Rather than just be a bit of management information on an Excel spreadsheet that was put forward. So we use it to show improvement, we use it to look at our staffing profile, we use it to look at how we can change our engagement with customers. So it's actually used on an hourly basis. We're actually now just implementing some integration between our tools where we can actually get some real-time reporting in a way that we needed to drive our business rather than what the tools do. So we're using some of our developers to do that for us, and that's been a real difference, because now people are seeing the value in reporting rather than it just being a bit of management information that's going to be emailed off and no questions asked until the next month when it's due. But yeah, so we have to justify everything that's in the reports, and we actually use it for our building our CSI plan. So yeah, so a lot of benefits around the whole people, process, technology.
And what was the most difficult part of the journey for you?
The most difficult part, I think, being honest from an entity data perspective, and I think the SDI will agree with this, is around the sheer volume of evidence we have to provide, and understanding how we deliver that evidence. And now that we do it makes it quite streamlined.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, it's very comprehensive. So being able to prove that you can walk the walk, talk the talk is as Damian said, it's a very, do you know, I've been, obviously it's a very liberating experience actually. So you've got a third-party organisation, a membership organisation coming in to look at what you do. And it's really quite tough, you know. You tend to you open yourself up to all that sort of, you know, that focus. So it is quite liberating, and I think yes, it is challenging to get all that evidence together. The end result, though, you know, from a marketing perspective, internally and externally, the ability to use that information to drive business value is incredible. You know, certainly from my expectations, and I think probably Damian would agree. So yeah, I agree with that, Damian. It's the evidence is challenging. Yeah, and it should be. I think it should be, guys. You know, it should be.
And I think the other good thing about the evidence is when your team feedback. Wow, we really do that.
Yeah.
And it's something there. I mean, it's tangible. It's something you can touch and you can see, rather than it being emails. And people don't really see it when it all comes together. They see the odd email here. They've seen the odd bit of customer sat there. But when you produce your evidence pack, your team go, "Wow, don't we work hard in the year?" and it just gives them that sense of pride. And you know, the team was just overwhelmed at the result that we got last time. It was just absolutely phenomenal.
The end result, and I've been there as well, Damian, you know, the end result of achieving in any capacity through this program is incredible for the team, the team bonding, for team integration, for collaboration. It's actually a very human program. It's a very human process, and it managed to bond and gel people into that. So the end result is incredible. You know, as Damian has said, when people start to say things like, "I'm putting this on my CV because it really means a lot to me," and stuff like that, it's a big deal. You know? So yeah, I get that as well. I get that as well. Very human.
Yeah, and I think that's our job as leaders and employers and whatever. It is about making a difference not only for your customers, for your company, but also for other people and people that work in your team, making a difference in their life now. And the people that have come on the journey with us will be able to remember that forever, and it'll stay on their CV now as one of their key highlights. And it's just knowing that something that we invested in could change some of my team's life for the rest of their future is a personal achievement of mine.
Yeah, and I think from my perspective as well, having worked on service desks in the past, where you felt like kind of the kicking boy for the entire organisation.
Absolutely.
Really nice to see companies valuing the service desks, investing in the service desks, and that there is this kind of formal programme of recognition that can be gone through. So we're coming up to the end of our time. Damian, you're on Twitter. People can ask you questions. We will put a blog up after this as well on ITSM Zone. Just share some contact information. And David, people can contact you as well if they want to learn more about SBI.
Claire, it's www.servicedeskinstitute.com.
Thank you very much. The next ITSM crowd that we're having is about DevOps and operations, but then we also have coming up in September another episode which is service desk related, which is going to be about Service Desk 2020 and looking at how service desks need to evolve to meet the future demands of the business and how things like DevOps are actually impacting on the service desk. So if you follow us on YouTube, you will see those dates coming up in the channel. I'd just like to say thank you so much to David and Damian for joining us today. It's been really, really interesting to hear about Damian's journey, and David for the information you've provided. Really, really appreciate that. So thank you both very much for joining us, and I look forward to seeing everybody on the next episode of the ITSM Crowd. Thanks, guys.
Thank you all for your support.
Thank you.
Goodbye.